ABC Action News starts right now with breaking news.
And right now at 5:59, we now know someone shot a 12-year-old girl in both legs during a drive-by shooting at her home in Plant City. She was airlifted to Tampa General and is expected to be okay. ABC Action News first broke this story on Twitter. What we don't know is who did this and why. Ashley Orr is there live. Ashley, deputies any closer to answering those questions?
Well, that's what they're trying to figure out right now, Dan. Who would fire multiple shots at this home with a family of 4 sleeping inside? But right now, they don't think this was random. 12-year-old girl Mackenzie Creech was sleeping in a front bedroom when she was shot in both calves. Here you can see family heading to the hospital. Deputies tell us these are her parents. There is still an active search for this shooter. A family of 4 lives here at the home, a mother, father, 15-year-old brother, and of course, 12-year-old Mackenzie. They're telling me right now that she was the only one shot. Now, we know whoever did this fired multiple shots into the home, but the good news is Mackenzie is expected to be okay. Out here live, you can see what looks like friends of the family gathered here trying to find out any more information that they can. And of course, as soon as we're getting those updates, we're going to be bringing those to you both on air and online as well. Reporting live in Plant City, I'm Ashley Orr, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Ashley. And also breaking overnight right now, Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies are looking for the person who killed a man this morning in Brandon. We now know the victim is 31-year-old Travis Ware. ABC Action News was first on the scene, and reporter Adam Weiner joined us now with new information about this investigation. Good morning, Adam.
Well, right now, detectives are interviewing both witnesses and neighbors about what happened, and most importantly, continue to search for a person who actually ran away from this homicide investigation this morning. The man that detectives are looking for now is a Ralph Lee Pearson. There's a mugshot of him right up there on your screen from a previous arrest, and by all accounts, this is a dangerous man. ABC Action News dug into Pearson's background. He has a long criminal history in both Hillsborough and Polk County, including drugs, theft, and violence. We're told authorities are using both canine units and aerial units to look for Pearson. Right now, they're only describing him as a person of interest. Pearson and the victim, Travis Ware, were apparently both involved in a fight here at the Asbury Apartments on Astor Commons Place at around 1 this morning when Ware was attacked.
He did leave the residence after being stabbed and ran down the sidewalk a little bit, so there is different areas to process from where the altercation occurred inside the apartment to the areas outside to make sure there's no evidence or any weapons on the ground.
No word yet if any weapons have been recovered from this investigation. You can see some of the evidence markers right out here on the roadway right now. As to what motivated this attack, authorities saying right now that's still not entirely clear. For now, live in Brandon, Adam Weiner, ABC Action News.
All right, as you step out the door right now, we are mostly dry across the area. I've been watching a few sprinkles trying to work their way close to the beaches of Pinellas County, but overall, we are still pretty dry this morning. I'm not expecting any rainfall that would cause you any problems for the morning commute. This afternoon, though, a completely different story. I think it is going to be a rather wet drive for quite a few of us through the afternoon and into the evening. I'm expecting some heavy rain as well, some thunderstorms with some gusty winds. We're still going to reach highs in the mid-80s today, and we're starting off the day in the low to mid 70s across Tampa Bay. Some of our interior temperatures are still in the mid to upper 60s, though, and we'll make it up to 80 by noon, and that is right when we'll start to see more heavy, widespread rain moving on shore. This will be a west to east flow, and if you want to track these showers and storms, don't forget to have Storm Shield on your mobile device. That app is quite helpful and will also let you know if there are any warnings issued. Do we have any warnings this morning about the traffic? Lindsay, what's going on out there?
Shay, I absolutely do. A warning this morning for drivers in Polk City. Still seeing roadblock and delays I-4 westbound. Right now, all lanes are blocked, but the good news is this crash is expected to clear any moment. And the other piece of good news, traffic is getting by the crash on the shoulder, but delay is now 10 minutes through the area. The crash right here just west of US 27. Not fatal, not even serious injuries, but it did leave quite a mess this morning across all of the westbound lanes of I-4. Again, traffic getting by on the shoulder should be clear momentarily, but there now are delays, 10-minute delays westbound, and you certainly can expect eastbound onlooker delays through that area. Taking a look right now at the big picture across Tampa Bay from Sarasota on up to Wesley Chapel, you're not going to run into any major problems on any of the major roadways. I-275 through downtown, traffic here starting to build, as well as at the junction of I-4 and I-275. Bay Area bridges are still up to speed. Heavy, though, over the Howard Franklin, 4 lanes right now from St. Pete into Tampa. You've got 7 minutes here, 6 across the Gandy, and 9 minutes over the Courtney Campbell. Average speeds elsewhere, you're in the greens. Over 70 miles an hour southbound on I-75. Coming on in I-4 westbound from 75 to 275, 69 miles an hour. Ashley?
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Breaking overnight in Ferguson, the parents of Michael Brown, they plan to file a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit today against the city. Now, this comes in the wake of their 18-year-old son's shooting death by police officer Darren Wilson last summer. Brown was unarmed. His death has continued to spark protests, many of them violent. This protest renewed when a grand jury decided not to indict Wilson on criminal charges.
Updating you on breaking news from Wednesday morning. French investigators providing more details now on a terrorist plot targeting churches. That plan foiled before it could be carried out. France's prime minister saying this is the 5th attack thwarted in France since January. Authorities found an outline of the suspect's plan to attack Christian churches while searching his car after he called police claiming he'd accidentally shot himself in the leg. That suspect, identified as 24-year-old Sid Ahmed Glam, is an Algerian computer science student who investigators say was already on a watch list of people who might try to travel to Syria to aid terrorists. A top prosecutor claiming someone in Syria requested that plot to massacre churchgoers. Glam is also suspected of killing a woman as she sat in her car just before he called police. ABC's Terry Moran tracking the investigation right now. He'll update us on Good Morning America at 7.
5 minutes after 6. Right now, the search continues for a man who authorities say fondled himself in front of a 12-year-old girl on her way from school in Brandon. And deputies really want to catch this guy. They say he may have done something similar before. This latest case happened Tuesday at the intersection of Terrace Drive and Cranberry Lane. Now, since we first told you this news during our 9 o'clock newscast yesterday, we've learned the suspect may now be linked to cases in January and February. And one parent told ABC Action News she thinks her daughter saw this man just last month.
I told her, you need to come forward and say things like this. You need to let people know right away so I can call the cops.
Now, deputies say the suspect is driving a blue Ford Expedition, and he has a chin-strap style beard and mustache. Call Crime Stoppers if you know anything about this guy.
And just one more step to go until traffic ticket quotas are totally banned here in Florida. We will be checking back a little later today to see if Governor Rick Scott will sign the so-called Waldo bill into law. It would make it illegal for law enforcement agencies to put those kinds of quotas in place. This bill is named for the infamous Central Florida city that was once considered one of the worst speed traps in America. Waldo's police force was disbanded after a quota scandal came to light last year.
That proposed body farm that we've been telling you about is continuing to stir up some controversy right now. We first told you about that plan to build a forensic science facility in Lithia 2 weeks ago. Well, now we're hearing homeowners living near that proposed site are concerned about odors and groundwater contamination. USF scientists dismissed their worries, though, saying the decaying cadavers would not smell or contaminate the water or the soil. But if you still have concerns, a public meeting to discuss the proposed body farm is happening tonight. It's at 6:30 at the Pinecrest Elementary School in Lithia.
And turning now to an ABC Action News exclusive. Julie Schenecker speaking only to us from prison, where she's spending the rest of her life for murdering her teenage children. ABC Action News reporter Serena Fazan working on the story for our 11 o'clock newscast tonight. But for now, a preview of what Schenecker had to say.
A Tampa mother brutally kills her own children, stunning the Bay Area and the world. But why? It is the biggest question remaining unanswered until now. For the first time since the murders, former military intelligence officer turned stay-at-home mom Julie Schenecker is speaking from behind bars. Her now ex-husband, Colonel Parker Schenecker, deployed overseas protecting this country when she did the unthinkable, shooting their children in their upscale New Tampa home. In an exclusive interview with ABC Action News, Schenecker reveals details never heard before about that night she pulled the trigger that abruptly ended the lives of her 13-year-old son, Beau, and 16-year-old daughter, Calyx.
But if you had a chance to do it over, would you do the same thing? Would you kill your kids?
I would save them and protect them. I don't know if there's another way to protect them, but that's the only thing I can think of doing to protect them.
That is only one of the details Shenica reveals for the very first time in our ABC Action News special report tonight at 11.
All right, let's take a look at the temperatures across the area right now. 74 degrees in Tampa, 76 in St. Pete, 71 in Clearwater. We do have the mid to upper 60s across much of the interior, and to the north, even some lower 60s. We're all headed to highs, though, at least in the low to mid 80s today. I'll show you where we'll see some of our warmest spots coming up in Florida's most accurate 7-day. Dan?
Talk to you in a minute, Shay. 6:09 ABC Action News. First on the scene of two big breaking stories. A 12-year-old hurt in an overnight drive-by shooting and a homicide investigation in Brandon. Now reporters tweeting out updates all morning long, and we'll bring you new information as soon as we get it right here on air.
And also, new cases of measles here in Florida are prompting some doctors now to take brand new precautions. But are they doing enough, or are they going too far?
At 6:12, a big win for thousands of former NFL players who claim the league failed to warn them about the risks of repeated head injuries. Federal judge just approved a settlement that granted up to $5 million for each retired player who sued the league over traumatic head injury they say they got on the gridiron. Could cost the NFL more than $1 billion. Now, as part of the settlement, $10 million will be set aside to better educate players about concussions.
New this morning, presidential hopeful Rand Paul is staying very quiet right now about his son who just got cited for driving drunk. Police in Lexington, Kentucky say William Hilton Paul crashed his truck into a car over the weekend. No one was in the car at the time. The 22-year-old was not arrested, but authorities say that's normal protocol for this kind of case. He was taken to a hospital for minor injuries to his face. A spokesperson for Rand Paul's 2016 presidential campaign says the Kentucky senator will not comment on this, calling it a private family matter.
Today, we'll be closely watching our nation's capital to see if the U.S. Senate confirms Loretta Lynch to be the country's first African-American female attorney general. It's been 167 days since President Obama nominated Lynch. That's the longest time an attorney general nominee has waited to be confirmed since the 80s, when Democrats held up President Reagan's nominee, Edwin Meese, for 13 months before confirmation. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell held up Lynch's vote until Republicans and Democrats agreed on a bill to help sex trafficking victims. That bill passed 99-0 yesterday. The Senate expected to vote on Lynch around 2 o'clock.
All right, as you head out the door right now, we are dry. I'm not expecting any issues with rain for the morning drive. However, we do have rain that's just barely offshore, and it's headed in our direction. We may still get a few isolated showers before 1 o'clock today, but again, I'm not expecting any problems with the morning commute as a result of that rain. From 2 o'clock on through sunset, we are going to have a good round of west to east moving showers and storms. Some heavy pockets of rain, some gusty winds possible. We're still going to reach highs in the mid-80s. In fact, I think because of the west to east flow that around Highlands and eastern Polk counties, we'll still be in the upper 80s today, approaching 90 degrees, because you'll see the showers and storms last. Now, as we move into tomorrow, check out how these rain chances really go down. We're down to about 20% coverage. There may be a lingering shower in the morning, but I think this is some pretty good car washing weather starting tomorrow and then continuing through Sunday. I think you'll get a nice batch of dry days and at least a lot of dry hours with low coverage of rain. And through the weekend, looking like beautiful weather for whatever you have in mind. This is Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. You can find me on Facebook with that model, the computer model that shows the rain moving through. You can find it on my Facebook page now, and check out your area to see when the rain is more likely to approach your neighborhood. And you can find me on Twitter all morning long with updates at Tampa Bay Weather. Good morning, Lindsay. How are things looking for the morning commute?
Shay, a little bit better than they were about an hour ago. I still want to talk about the crash we've been watching for you all morning long on I-4 through Polk City. So let's head on out there to Polk County, where there is a crash, westbound lanes just west of US 27. The good news here is this crash is now in the clearing stages. At one point this morning, all lanes westbound on I-4 had been blocked. Now at least one lane is open, but you can certainly expect delays through the area right now if you're about to walk out the door. Again, the crash is clearing, but I'm still seeing average speeds 19 miles an hour there just west of US 27. So keep that in mind. We'll let you know as soon as this is totally clear. And then traffic there should be back up to speed. Other than that, not a lot to talk about right now throughout the Bay Area. All of the majors right now, you're looking great. The bridge is starting to get a little bit heavy, but you're still have a decent drive time there. Let's talk about a huge construction project that is happening starting Monday. Okay, so McDill Avenue, northbound and southbound lanes will be closed at I-275 starting at 9 a.m. Monday and goes through 5 p.m. Sunday. This is round-the-clock construction on McDill, a major project here. East and west detours are going to be Main Street and Cypress Street. Your north and south detours, Armenia and Howard Avenues. I'll be reminding you about this throughout the weekend, throughout our newscast, and certainly on Monday morning. You can also find other details and other Cone Zone projects coming up for next week. Those are all on Twitter right now at Tampa Bay Traffic. Dia.
Thank you, Lindsay. 17 minutes after 6. A heads up right now, if you shop at Trader Joe's, we've got a recall that we need to tell you about this morning. A sausage maker whose products are sold in Trader Joe's stores is recalling almost 60,000 pounds of chicken sausage over concerns there could be bits of plastic inside. I want to show you a look at that package right now. It's 8-ounce packages of sweet apple chicken sausage made by Cayenne Foods. This recall impacts packages with the expiration dates of April 22nd, the 25th, and 29th. If you bought this sausage, you should either throw it out or take it back to the store for a refund.
And right now, some doctors in South Florida, they're taking action to keep the measles virus from spreading. It comes after 4 contaminated cases in 2 other communities nearby. Pediatricians at Katz Pediatrics in Martin County, they just hung up a sign in their offices asking patients to let the office know if their child has been vaccinated. Now, that's because the practice is separating vaccinated and unvaccinated children into different waiting rooms. They say other doctors' offices are considering asking unvaccinated children to wear masks if there are 6 children nearby. Others are not accepting unvaccinated children entirely.
At 6:18 new this morning, we all get aggravated at our computers every once in a while, but we're hearing from a Colorado man who took his frustrations one step further when he pulled out a gun and shot his computer 8 times.
And you get that blue screen of death, and this computer, I don't know what possessed me. I mean, it was just, I wasn't out of my mind or anything. I just had it.
Look, there it is. Lucas Hinch is a business owner, depends on his computer to store shipping information for customers. And when it wouldn't boot up, he took it behind the house and just opened fire. One thing he wasn't counting on, though, someone hearing the gunshots and calling police. He wound up slapped with a violation for discharging his weapon. Still, he regrets none of it.
Yeah, Dan, as you know, we've had some of those same issues with some of these computers out here, so we can understand his frustration. Well, still ahead, you may be seeing more kids around the office today. Right after this break, we'll tell you how you can cash in on Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day.
And we just learned the name of the 12-year-old hurt in a drive-by shooting in Plant City. She is Mackenzie Creech. She's expected to survive. Ashley Yore is talking to investigators. She'll bring us a live update next.
Yeah, but first at 6:19, long-awaited announcement from Google has the tech world buzzing this morning. Here's ABC's Rena Ninen and TJ Holmes.
In today's Tech Bites, Google has unveiled its own wireless network.
Customers will pay just $20 a month for basic talk and text and $10 for each gigabyte of data. Project Fi is a joint partnership with Sprint and T-Mobile.
Well, Amazon will start testing a new way to deliver your packages right into the trunk of your car.
During the test, Audi owners will allow DHL workers to open their trunks with a one-time keyless code.
Whoa, this could eventually solve the problem of packages unable to be delivered because nobody is home.
Look forward to groceries having the same feature. And happy birthday, YouTube. The video sharing site turns 10 today. It all started with this video, a video called Me at the Zoo, uploaded by the site's co-founder.
The most watched YouTube video of all time, yes, Gangnam Style, by Psy, 2.3 billion hits.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Never gets old.
All right, it's 6:23 right now. If you're headed out the door, you can see nice dry roads and good visibility. Yeah, by the way, I'm posting those visibility reports every morning on Twitter at Tampa Bay Weather. And also lots of images of the radar as the rain starts to develop today. If you're planning on a beach day, not looking awesome. Mostly cloudy skies with rain likely. In fact, it's going to be moving onshore along our beaches at first throughout the day and then heading inland through the afternoon. 82 degrees is the high at Clearwater Beach. I'll have Florida's most accurate 7-day with some better beach days ahead coming up. Dia.
All right, thank you, Shay. 6:24 right now. So the great royal baby wait is still underway, with Kate Middleton set to give birth to her second baby any moment now. The royal family has never confirmed her exact due date, but we do know that it's sometime in mid to late April. Buckingham Palace insiders are reporting that Kate is resting right now at Kensington Palace with Prince William. He took paternity leave early to make sure that he's by his wife's side when that big moment happens. The royals will likely introduce royal baby number 2 to the world on the hospital steps, just like they did with Prince George back in 2013.
So much anticipation. Well, it's also a big day for a lot of young people. A lot of them will be going to work for the first time. That's because today is the 22nd annual Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day. This is designed so parents can take their kids ages 8 to 18 to their jobs so they could be exposed to the workplace. And what's a day on the job without a lunch break? Well, today you can take your sons and daughters out to eat on your lunch break. Olive Garden offering a free meal for kids today with the purchase of an adult meal. Here's the website you need to know, daughtersandsonstowork.org. I have it pulled up right here, and you just scroll down a little ways. You see a quick link that says olivegarden.com. You click on it, and the free kids meal coupon is right there. We've also posted a link in our article. You can find that at abcactionnews.com.
6:25, ABC Action News tracking 2 breaking news stories this Thursday morning. Our crew's first on the scene of a stabbing death in Brandon and a drive-by shooting in Plant City that left a 12-year-old girl hurt. Updates on both of these right after the break.
Live pictures right here of the Howard Franklin Bridge. Those headlights coming on over from St. Pete into Tampa, where if you're walking out the door right now, you have a 7-minute commute. No major issues out there, but I do have an update for drivers on the situation I-4 in Polk City. Also a crash in Pinellas County. Captain Al's taking off right now.
ABC Action News starts right now with breaking news.
6:29, a 12-year-old girl is recovering at Tampa General Hospital after she was shot in both legs. Hillsborough deputies say this happened while she was sleeping during a drive-by shooting at her Plant City home. ABC Action News first broke this story on Twitter. Action News reporter Ashley Yore is there live right now. And Ashley, tough to believe how this happened.
Absolutely, Dan. Sheriff's deputies tell me that 12-year-old Mackenzie Creech was actually asleep in the front bedroom of her home when someone fired multiple shots at the home and hit Mackenzie in both calves. The good news, though, she is expected to be okay. Right now, you can see sheriff's deputies are actually looking for shell casings that they say are out here in the lawn. You can see, I can count 4 that have already been located right now. Now, take a look at this video. Here you can see family heading to the hospital. Deputies tell us that these are her parents. Now, this is still an active search for this shooter. Deputies say they don't know who did this, but they don't think that this was random, that this house was targeted. A family of 4 lives here at the home, a mother, father, 15-year-old brother, and 12-year-old Mackenzie. She was the only one shot. Now, back out here live, again, you can see deputies walking up to the front porch of the home, looking for those bullet holes and for any shell casings that are still in the lawn. Again, this is an active investigation right now. They're looking for whoever did this. As soon as we have more updates, we're going to bring those to you. But for now, reporting live in Plant City, I'm Ashley Yore, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Ashley. And we're following more breaking news right now, this time in Brandon. ABC Action News was first on the scene of a deadly stabbing at an apartment complex. And now the hunt is on for the person who may know something about what happened. Authorities say the man you're looking at right there, that's Ralph Lee Pearson. They say he was in the apartment where the stabbing happened, but then he took off. Pearson was apparently in a fight with the victim around 1 o'clock this morning where the attack took place. Now, coming up just before Good Morning America, we're going to check in live with ABC Action News reporter Adam Weiner. He's on the scene right now working to find out what started this fight that eventually led to this deadly stabbing.
All right, as you head out the door this morning, check out our conditions across Tampa, Clearwater, and St. Pete. We have mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures are anywhere from 71 in Clearwater to 74 in Tampa, 76 in St. Pete. And things are changing for sure. Grab those umbrellas as you head out the door. We start off with a dry commute, but then by noon we start to see the showers moving on shore. May even see an isolated shower before then along the coast, but the best chance for heavy, widespread widespread rain today will begin around 1, 2 o'clock and continue through sunset tonight when it will start tapering off. We'll still make it to a high of 84 degrees today. And again, if you want to time out this rain, go to my Facebook page. That's where I posted a model where you can take it hour by hour across the whole Tampa Bay area to see when the showers and storms are more likely to be in your neck of the woods. This is Florida's most accurate day planner. I'll have the 7-day coming up with some really nice looking days ahead for heading to the beaches or whatever you got in mind to do outside. Now, the big question is the morning commute. Lindsay, how are things shaping up right now?
Shay, unfortunately, right now, things getting quite messy out there. But first, let's take a live look right here at how things are moving along I-275 southbound, south of the Apex, approaching Beers. Right now, you've got a 10 or 11-minute commute from the Apex on down to I-4. No crashes or breakdowns to 75 or 75 this morning, so you're looking good there. Pinellas County, though, I do want to talk about you. You seem to be getting the brunt of morning rush hour with a crash at Almerton and Roosevelt. Serious one there. We're going to check in with Captain Al on that one in just a minute. 28th Street North at 18th Avenue North. You've got a crash there, as well as 38th Street North and 36th Avenue North. I do want to let drivers know right now, great news on I-4 westbound. That crash just west of US 27. All clear right now, and delays are thinning out westbound I-4 through Polk City. Shouldn't have a problem in the next 5 or 10 minutes getting through that area. Bay Area bridges right now. Let's take a look at real-time drive times. 8 minutes over the Courtney Campbell, 6 over the Howard Franklin. Looking great right now with 7 minutes across the Gandy. All right, now let's check in with Captain Al over that crash in Pinellas County.
Hey, good morning, Lindsay. Good Thursday morning, everybody. A very serious crash indeed. Westbound Roosevelt as you go over the top. That's a new overpass over the top of Almerton Road. You can see a couple vehicles came together, spun out. One's against the wall. Actually, maybe 3 vehicles altogether or more. And emergency crews have the entire overpass closed right now, so all that traffic that would be coming this way are going to have to sit there or actually being diverted onto eastbound Almerton right now. Going to have to make a U-turn down there, Caroline Parkway. Otherwise, through home shopping up to 34th Street and back to Almerton Road will get you around this. But it looks like it's going to be closed for some time, so keep that in mind. Now back to the desk.
And ABC Action News just getting word an overnight fire in Pasco County. A man suffered burns to more than half of his body. This happened at the Sawmill Village in Lacucci. We're told one burn victim was taken by Bay Flight to Tampa General Hospital. We're still checking on his condition, but we do know so far he is a man in his 50s. And also this sad update to bring you now on that grandmother badly burned in a house fire Tuesday morning. ABC Action News is learning that Annie Watson has passed away after that fire broke out in her bedroom in South St. Pete. Family members tried desperately to get her out, but they couldn't do anything until firefighters arrived. Yesterday was Watson's 91st birthday.
And Ashley, take a look at these pictures I just pulled up from Fort Lauderdale Fire Department's Twitter account. Firefighters had their hands full with this fire that started aboard an 80-foot yacht and then spread, we're told, to a 125-foot yacht at the Fort Lauderdale Marina overnight. Just amazing pictures here coming in of the flames rising from those boats. The Sun Sentinel's website is reporting that 2 people were rescued from the larger yacht. Investigators looking into what sparked that fire now.
We want to update you right now on those controversial guardrails that ABC Action News has been telling you about for months now. Federal investigators are now looking into whether one of the nation's most popular guardrails is even safe at all. The ET Plus design is supposed to absorb the impact of a car that hits it dead on, but some say it malfunctions and can pierce through a car like a deadly spear and kill the people inside. The U.S. Department of Justice is launching a criminal investigation right now. Meanwhile, Florida is no longer installing the guardrails until testing is complete.
6:36, the Tampa Bay Lightning are playing a critical Game 4 tonight in Detroit. A loss puts them at risk for elimination from the playoffs Saturday night in a home Game 5 here in Tampa. The team is inviting you to cheer them on their official watch party, at their official watch party tonight at Channelside Bay Plaza. You can win some prizes, meet Thunderbug and the Lightning Girls, and the event begins at 5 o'clock with the game at 7.
All right, if you're getting the kids ready for school this morning, it's questionable whether or not you're going to want to pack the rain gear. It depends on when you're picking them up from school, because this morning we're mostly cloudy, but on the dry side, it's later today, anytime after 2 o'clock, where we'll start to see the showers and storms approaching the coastline and heading inland. We will have some heavy downpours, and I think there's a decent chance that some areas are going to have that their after-school sports practice canceled as a result of these heavy rains and thunderstorms moving through. Still making it to a high of 84. I'm giving today a C. Lindsay?
All right, right now a breaking traffic alert for drivers in Pinellas County. Live pictures right here from Captain Al in Action Air 1 over the scene. You are looking at a multiple car crash. This is going to be affecting traffic westbound Roosevelt, that overpass right over Ulmerton Road. Cars there are stopped, and we do expect this scene to still be active for some time now this morning. We're working on your workarounds, and we'll have a live report from Captain Al in just a minute.
And Linz, we're working on this too, staying on top of breaking news. Search underway for the person behind a drive-by shooting in Plant City. A 12-year-old girl shot in both legs. We have live reports on Morning Law. And ABC Action News will be keeping a close eye on Tallahassee this morning, where measures that could impact your safety and your health could soon become law.
First up this morning, a bill that would place limits on who can access police officer body camera videos is now moving forward. That measures had to go through a lot of changes, but essentially it would keep video shot inside someone's home or healthcare facilities confidential. But groups like the ACLU and the First Amendment Foundation still are not happy with this measure. They want more of these kinds of videos to be made public.
And it's starting to look as though women seeking abortions will have to wait 24 hours after meeting with their doctors before they can actually have the procedure done. The divisive measure passed in the state house along party lines. It's now set to come up on the Senate floor as soon as today. It's looking likely that it will be approved and will cross Governor Scott's desk once that happens.
641, we know you're always concerned about your biggest investment, your home. A high number of foreclosures and short sales near you can hurt its value, of course. Neighbors seriously underwater on their mortgage, where they owe 25% more than it's worth, are more likely to go into foreclosure. But take a look at this graph. Good news this morning. Realty Track reports the number of homes seriously underwater continues to fall since its peak back in 2012. I also want to take a look at this problem we're seeing here. Florida's housing market remains problematic. Realty Track says Lakeland down here, 28, almost 29% of properties there seriously underwater. It's America's most troubled housing market. Tampa, St. Pete, not too much better. That's right here. Tampa, St. Petersburg, 25% of homes in that same situation. Coming in at 6th place, just behind Orlando. One positive, in the last year, the percent of seriously underwater homes in Florida fell by over 7%.
It is coming up now on 642 and breaking overnight. ABC Action News first on the scene of a deadly stabbing in Brandon. A man stabbed in a fight died overnight. Now the search is on for the person responsible. We have crews working right now to get you an update.
645 happening today in North Carolina. Former CIA director and head of CENTCOM here at Tampa's MacDill Air Force Base, David Petraeus, will be sentenced for mishandling classified materials. Petraeus is accused of giving his mistress, Paula Broadwell, several notebooks containing highly classified information compiled while he was a general. Petraeus has agreed to a plea deal in which he will avoid jail time, instead receiving 2 years probation. And actually, Petraeus' fall from grace began right here in Tampa 3 years ago.
You might recall this woman, this name, Jill Kelly, the so-called Tampa socialite who hosted parties for MacDill's top brass, including then General Petraeus, all in her Bayshore Boulevard home. Well, in 2012, Kelly complained to the FBI she'd been sent a threatening email to stay away from Petraeus. Turned out Paula Broadwell sent that email, who apparently regarded Kelly as a rival for Petraeus' affection. Kelly's family and Petraeus' aides, they've always maintained the General and Kelly were just friends. Kelly's currently suing the government, by the way, for violating her privacy, for allegedly leaking information about her to the media.
646 right now. New details this morning are giving us more insight into just how lucky that Ruskin gyrocopter pilot is to be alive. Doug Hughes, a mailman from Ruskin, as you know, created a national scare last week when he flew his gyrocopter through a no-fly zone over the Capitol and landed on the West Lawn. Well, now lawmakers are demanding answers about why Hughes guided his small aircraft through protected Washington, D.C. airspace for 30 miles without being stopped. One representative told reporters that Hughes should have been blown out of the air. Hughes says he made efforts to let authorities know what he was planning in advance of his stunt, which was meant to protest campaign finance laws.
And good morning, everybody. Traffic alert in the Feather Sound, Carolina area of Ulmerton Road. This overpass, westbound 686 Roosevelt Boulevard, that new overpass. Several vehicles came together right there in the turn, right over the top of Ulmerton Road. They're being tended to now by emergency services. You can see a number of those vehicles, but all of those lanes are closed. They're getting everyone off eastbound Almerton, so you can either make the U-turn at Egret Boulevard or onto Caroline Parkway. Those would be good options, but remember, you already have the flow of eastbound Almerton, so that's going to aggravate you some. Otherwise, you can start a little bit early off at 28th Street to 118th, out to US 19 and go northbound that way. It's going to be like this for a little while. They got a number of vehicles to clean up. Here's Lindsay with more traffic.
Wow, what a mess there, Al. Thank you very much. Hey, we've got more team coverage right now out there on the Bay Area roads this morning. I-275 right here near Hillsborough Avenue, taking a look at how traffic is shaping up here on I-275. Northbound and southbound traffic flow, no problems there. I-75, no problems either. This is going to be my camera here at Ashley Drive, I-275. We have another shot. Crash reported near Howard, Armenia, but it is off to the side. Not seeing visual delays at this point. This right here, these 3 lanes, that's just typical rush hour, but we will certainly keep our eye on that. Other traffic crashes right now throughout the Bay Area. US 41, where it meets up with US 19 in Palmetto, you're going to have a crash there with roadblock. Also in Pinellas County, 28th Street North at 18th Avenue North and 38th Street North at 36th Avenue North in Pinellas County. You guys are busy over there. Bay Area bridges right now, real-time drive times 9 minutes over the Courtney Campbell, 6 over the Howard Franklin, and 9 minutes right now across the Gandy Bridge. All right, now for a check at that Thursday forecast. Shay, how are things shaping up?
You know what? I am watching Titan Doppler radar right now because I'm seeing some rain showers approaching the coastline. And as we look at the Hyatt Clearwater Beach camera, we can see some of those dark clouds there on the horizon. And I'm even seeing a few flashes of lightning offshore from the Holiday area. So it's mainly off of Pasco County's coastline where the heavy downpours are about to move in. And again, it's not looking like this is going to be widespread. In fact, a wider look here, and you can see it's very hit or miss right along the coastline. I think we may also be seeing a little bit of rain moving onshore around Anna Maria Island. So this is moving in a little more quickly than what I was anticipating. The bottom line is, take a look at the 24-hour futurecast. This is showing rain further to our south. I think it's basically picking up the fact that we are getting some moisture moving onshore. It's just showing it a little too far south in this model at the moment. So that's why we say that these models are a guide, but they're not the rule. I do have this model posted on my Facebook page, so you can check out what time of day will have more coverage of rain. But again, it may not match up spot on with the geographic area, as you just saw. Nonetheless, by the time we get towards noon, we start to see more coverage starting to build in across the area. And at 4 o'clock today, we start to see those heavy downpours moving onshore. This is a west to east flow today, becoming widespread between about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and 4 o'clock, and then continuing through about sunset. We may even still see a few isolated showers tomorrow morning, but overall, the rain chances really come down as we head from Friday through Sunday. We're looking at a beautiful weekend ahead, I think, for whatever you have in mind. And as we look at next week, we'll have more of a chance for more widespread rain. That's Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. I'll have radar updates on Twitter at Tampa Bay Weather all morning long as well. Dia.
All right, thank you, Shay. 10 till 7 right now. Today's episode of Dr. Oz is sure to be a heated one. He's really taking off the gloves on this one.
Yeah, right. He's fighting back against claims that he promotes quack treatments. And his main message here, he will not be silenced.
Freedom of speech is the most fundamental right we have as Americans. And these 10 doctors are trying to silence that right.
So Dr. Oz has found himself in the hot seat before. He even called before Congress over a product he endorsed. You can watch today's highly anticipated show right here on your ABC Action News station at noon.
6:51, lots of breaking news to get to in your morning sprint, including the latest on a 12-year-old girl injured during a drive-by shooting. She was asleep at home at the time. All the overnight updates to get you ready for your day in 60 seconds.
It is 6:52, 8 till 7 is your morning sprint. Count you down to Good Morning America.
Lots of breaking news to get to, including a homicide investigation underway right now in Brandon.
But first, Ashley, you're live in Plant City, where a 12-year-old girl was hurt in a drive-by shooting.
Ashley, right now, sheriff's deputies are scouring the front yard looking for shell casings after that drive-by shooting. Someone shot a 12-year-old girl in both legs here at her home in Plant City overnight. Deputies say 12-year-old Mackenzie Creech was airlifted to Tampa and is expected to be okay. They say she was sleeping in a front bedroom when she was shot in both calves. Deputies say there's still an active search for the shooter. Mackenzie's brother and parents were also sleeping inside. She was the only one shot.
We want to go to Adam Weiner now, covering breaking news in Brandon, where a man was stabbed to death overnight.
And the investigation continuing right now. In fact, you can see the detectives right here behind me collecting some of the evidence in those brown bags. And this is right where Travis Ware collapsed in the street outside his apartment building. Now the search is on for 51-year-old Ralph Lee Pearson. He's being described right now as a person of interest. Now, both canine units and aerial units were out looking for Pearson this morning, who ran off after the homicide. Witnesses telling detectives this hour that Pearson and Ware gotten into an argument at around 1 this morning, and it ended in violence.
At noon in your morning sprint, divers recovered a body from a lake last night. Deputies tells Van Murray drowned while trying to retrieve a remote-controlled boat from a lake just off Lakeside Commons Drive in Tampa. This drowning investigation is still continuing this morning.
Manatee County deputies just arresting a woman whose 4-year-old grandson died earlier this month. Authorities say the autopsy in the death of Alexander Marr showed injuries consistent with child abuse. The boy's grandmother, Carla Gray, was arrested yesterday for failure to report the abuse. That investigation continues with additional arrests pending.
And doctors are keeping an eye right now on 41-year-old Robert Pinkston. He's the Mosaic employee severely burned after falling into a vat of acid at that facility in Riverview. At last check, he was in critical condition.
Well, it's down to the final meeting today in St. Pete, where a committee is working to pick a peer design. Today, the three short-listed design teams will answer questions before the committee ranks the choices. Now, you're welcome to attend, but there will not be any public input at the meeting in council chambers.
6:45 right now. Heads up aloots with a crash on US 41 at Sunset Lane. Roadblock there reported. Also a crash 49th Street North at US 19 in Pinellas County. 275 southbound at Howard Avenue. You have a crash there pushed off to the side. Delays, though, onlooker delays are building through that area. Now for a check at another traffic situation in Pinellas County. Here's Captain L.
Hey, good morning, Lindsay. This is a traffic alert westbound Roosevelt over the top of Almerton. That brand new overpass that they have right there. 2 or 3 vehicles came together. Most of that's been tended to, and the rescue units are in the process of leaving. It's still blocked. Down below, eastbound Almerton, look at that. Somebody looking up at the overpass runs into someone else. It's not blocking but one lane, but it is slow through this area. It's a lot of morning commuters. Here's Shay with your forecast.
All right, let's take a look at Titan Doppler radar. You can see some showers moving onshore around Newport Richey and into the Tarpon Springs area. So we are going to see just some isolated rain before noon, but then after that, more widespread showers and storms. This could create some issues for the evening commute. I don't think we'll see anything major for the morning drive. Some heavy downpours expected this afternoon along with those thunderstorms, and about 60% coverage overall. A much drier weekend ahead.
The stars of the popular Discovery Channel show Mythbusters are bringing their new live stage show to Tampa's Strass Center tonight. And there's good news if you want to attend the audience participation show. We just checked, and tickets are still available.
Hollywood coming to the Bay Area again to film a movie. Cast and crew of The Infiltrator will be shooting scenes today at the Don Cesar Hotel in St. Pete, starring Breaking Bad's Bryan Cranston. This film is about a U.S. Customs official who uncovers Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar's money laundering scheme. I wonder if they still need extras. Man, Brian, if you're watching.
Well, stay tuned. Good Morning America is coming up next.
Keep up to date with us on air on our mobile app, on Facebook and Twitter.
And don't forget, join us back here right at 9 a.m. Have a great rest of your morning.
Arrest and trial that made world